What is up, guys? Doing another one down solo. Today I'm bringing you the diamond. This heist was pretty interesting in regards that I used another, not kooky, but just slightly different build. I used a build centered around the Mosconi. It was really fun. I initially tried to do it with a suited anarchist build, however it didn't work out quite like I wanted to. So I had to rearrange the perk deck, or not rearrange the perk deck, rearrange the skill set a little bit, and I picked up Rogue instead, and it worked a lot better. Although I feel like I probably could use a suited anarchist build on certain heists, I didn't feel like this one with this particular loadout was one that I was going to be able to get away with it on. I might try it later though, just for kicks and giggles. Had to sacrifice some skills I really didn't feel like sacrificing in order to make this build work. I actually had to sacrifice duck and cover ace, so I don't have a 65% chance to dodge things while I'm sprinting. I actually still only have the 55% chance. That's the most dodge I'll have at any point during this heist, which is kind of bad because, you know, that extra 10% is pretty nice when you're just trying to sprint through an area. However, a lot of times if I sprint through an open area, I also try to throw a concussion grenade to cover myself, so sometimes it doesn't really even matter that much, but it was definitely worth dropping that so I would have just enough points to pick up low blow, which helps my Mosconi significantly when I'm trying to kill dozers and specials like tasers and medics. Especially combined with the overkill skill, because I have it basic, you know. It was just extremely potent at killing, well, like everything. Power box is in a pretty good location relative to where the security room is at. I like this security room as opposed to the security room on the other side of the building. Downstairs security room. I actually don't think I got it downstairs. I only tried this run like 2 or 3 times, and each time it was always an upstairs run. So I think my interface glitched out there for a second because I went into a Steam overlay for a moment because someone had sent me a message. So the world kind of rendered out of existence for half a second when I came back in. It's kind of interesting. So as you can see here, I'll just blow off dozer faceplates with my China Puff, and then when they come in here, I'll just pop a few shots in them with the Mosconi and let the crits do all the work. So shot into the corner so I could kill that shield. Blast radius of the China Puff being wide enough to kill them in that circumstance. Just trying to prevent other enemies from rushing in. Wanted to try to kill that shield, but however he didn't seem to take any splash damage. I'm guessing because of the way he might have been positioned behind the wall, just preventing him from taking any damage. Initially when I was playing around with this build, I was worried that... Oh, this taser catching me right here. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. Made me blow myself up. Ammo was a bit of a concern with the Mosconi. Even though it has a pickup, it's like a 1-for-1 pickup, but of course, you know, not every enemy is going to die in one shot. So, funny thing about tasers, tasing when you have a grenade launcher out, in case you guys aren't aware, shockproof. Of course, shockproof ace will allow you to get out of the clutches of tasers by pressing the interact key within 2 seconds of being tased, regardless as to whether you're looking at the taser or not. The grenade launchers also have this strange effect where if you get tased while you have your grenade launcher out, after you fire your first grenade, a second or 2, I fired the grenade into the wall because I'm a dummy, I guess. Anyway, a taser that tases you while you have your grenade launcher out, even if your grenade launcher shot doesn't hit the taser, you can shoot it in the exact opposite direction of the taser, and this will still work. The taser will just stop tasing you. I'm not sure why, to be quite honest. I just know that it happens. So if you didn't want to pick up shockproof ace and you carry a grenade launcher in your build, just try to make sure you have your grenade launcher out in case there are tasers around, I suppose. However, in my typical one down solo build with the cavity and the locomotive, I of course don't have a grenade launcher, so I like picking up shockproof so I don't just get crapped on. Took a bit more damage than I would have liked right there. I'd like to blame it on the lack of 15% extra dodge, but 55% chance is still a pretty good chance. It doesn't matter though. Had a medic bag right here that I bought pretty much for the purpose of being able to waste it if I needed to. China Puff complemented the slight ammo inefficiency of the Mosconi quite well. As you can see, their ammo drops everywhere, and I'm on full ammo now. Most of the problems kind of came a bit later. Yeah, I went into my Steam overlay again right here. That's why it looks like the game's frozen. As you can see on my interface, it's not moving at the moment. Yeah, there we go. The person was messaging me again. Or I was replying to them, they messaged earlier, something like that. Anyway. This build wasn't as ammo inefficient as I thought it was going to be. Like I said, I only had like one moment where I was kind of worried that I might run out of ammo. And so, I think for most general purpose use, this build would actually be pretty good, so long as you weren't... as long as you're being a little bit careful. You definitely need to keep an eye on your Mosconi ammo, just so you don't go ham with it and blow all the ammo without killing clusters of enemies with the China Puff, so that you can go out and pick up ammo drops from that. So, wasn't getting any crits on this dozer just yet. Got one on that one though, and then you got another on him. Being able to kill things so easily on one down feels really nice. That's why I like this build so much, is that due to the high damage of the Mosconi and then combining it with the crits, it just makes enemies feel like paper, which is really nice. It's a good feeling whenever you know you can kill the enemies just as fast as they can kill you, as opposed to having to shoot them 500,000 times to try to kill them with slightly inefficient weapons. Missed him as I'm sprinting past him, was trying to tase him so he wouldn't shoot or melee me or whatever. All the enemies repelled down in the adjacent room, so I just kind of backed off. Looked for some artifacts, not because I was really intending on taking any, but, well, really I don't have any excuse other than boredom. Managed to keep that guy off the keypad. It's also a nice thing about the Mosconi. In quick, oh crap situations, you can just double tap it. It's almost like the crossbow in the sense that you get one or two good shots, which will almost always be killing shots within the two, you know? And then you're forced to reload, but the reload is quick, so you're able to duck behind cover, and I think it's effective in that sense. Normally you would think that, oh, you have to reload it so much, you know, how is that useful? But if you have the shotgun reload skills, the reload's relatively quick, and it, you know, forces you to get behind cover. Otherwise you're just standing out in the open while not shooting, and that just kind of makes you look like a doofus. So, you know, forces more cover play upon the player, which is kind of nice. Sometimes if I have the Dragon's Breath Loco out or whatever, that was a very bad grenade launcher shot by me. I really shouldn't have shot that right there. But, I don't know, maybe I lost my train of thought too. Oh, sometimes if I have the Loco out where it has 10 rounds in it, sometimes I'll be a little more pressured, or not pressured, but I'll feel more inclined to stay out of cover longer so I can light enemies up with it, when in certain circumstances it would just be better to sit behind the cover instead. That's okay though. Threw my flashbang out so I could run through here, like concussion grenade, flashbang, whatever you want to call it. I was trying to keep an eye out for the security guards that were in here, because I knew that they would light me up while I was setting this down if I wasn't careful. Some enemies at the starting of the point of the hallway were also shooting at me. Just decided to continue holding down that objective instead of running into cover when I was being shot, just because at this point I hadn't even laid down any medic bags. So I feel like getting caught with the Mosconi out while you're being tased is almost certain death unless you have shockproof, which is why of course I picked it up in this build, even though I talked about the China Puff thing a minute ago, or like the grenade launcher thing that applies to any grenade launcher, not just the China Puff. But Yeah, getting caught with a taser while the Mosconi's out. Getting caught by a taser while your Mosconi's out and you're not looking at the taser is absolutely disastrous. So that's definitely something to bear in mind. Just hoping that your teammates cover you or that you can cover yourself or what have you. Like I said, I think this build's really fun. But the nice thing about it is it's fun and potent, so which is why I like it so much. Fun builds. You can make any kind of fun build, like my minigun build that I used, that I goofed around with on Harvest and Trustee. That's a fun build, and I had so much fun using it. However, it's just not gonna be. It's not super effective, and I couldn't use it to do. I mean, maybe I would have been able to use it for a heist like this, but I probably would have had to lay down a bunch of ammo bags as opposed to being able. Well, I could have only laid down 2. I'd definitely probably be trying to use those ammo bags a bit more than I am currently. Having overkill active makes a gigantic difference when I'm trying to kill specials, I noticed. Convert saved me as that guy was probably about to ruin my birthday by lighting me up. I also like the Mosconi, because you can do this when you go into Swan Song. And I killed that dozer or that taser at like the perfect moment in order to get a Messiah, so I was really happy about that. It was good fortune. Trying to cover myself a bit with the China Puff so I could get up here and hit my mid bag. Where this guy kind of ruined me. Not pleased. Oh, I must have got a feign death from before, because I was able to jump right then. So maybe I feigned death, but I still was able to get the Messiah if I needed to. In game, I'm able to tell a lot better, of course, when I feign death or when I like the window for feign death is only like a second after you are down. So once the 29th second is up for like half a second or whatever, then you're not going to feign death after that. And so in game, I have a very it's almost like a natural sense at this point just to know that I'm not going to feign death like there. And so sometimes my window for when I jump up from a Messiah will be pretty quick. And so when I'm watching it in post video, of course I don't remember every single exact down. So I just sometimes it's just hard to tell due to how close the window is when I jump up sometimes. Anyway, getting a little bit of ammo because I was starting to run a bit low, and I was like right there, so I mean it wouldn't have mattered. I had enough that I could have built my ammo reserves back up, but I'm going to go ahead and try to grab this convert. However, enemies were starting to pour out, and I really didn't want to take another down just to get that convert. Just kind of circling around this building. This map is also extremely good for kiting. I just didn't do it much in this video because there really wasn't a need to. The map is big and linear enough in the sense that they're long hallways. That kiting is really effective, but like I said, with this build I was having so much fun just getting up in everything's face and trying to kill it. Wasn't really expecting those guys to be there, but they were camping out here in the diamond group, or in had some crazy good dodge right there. Should have went down in that situation, and under most circumstances I probably would have. I just got really lucky, so that felt nice. Finally got around to forcing the lock again. Only had a few more seconds. I was a bit worried about having to lockpick the door open because, of course, that leaves me as a sitting duck as I'm trying to pick it open. But of course, so long as I got past the halfway point before I went down, or a little past the halfway point, I'd be able to finish the lock in Swan Song, which would be pretty convenient. Thankfully, though, my converted... Actually, no, I think the wave-end's right here, yeah, because I was in Fade. Because I remember that was pretty convenient timing. I was like, oh, perfect, yeah, sweet. On this map in particular, it's kind of hard for me to tell when it goes into Fade, simply because the enemies always stay so clustered up constantly. So it always looks like there's a lot of enemies, even though there's really not. But it's because their spawns focus primarily around where the player is at, whereas on other maps they'll just kind of spawn closer to objectives. I got a pretty good line here, and of course I just needed to get across without hitting any tiles. So I just went ahead and tried to quickly memorize that and blow through it. That way I didn't have to waste time with the drills. So I was pretty happy to get that, and I just said, forget it, I can mess around with tiles. So after this, of course it's pretty much a breeze. Run past all those enemies. That's a... I've had 2 or 3 really bad grenade launcher shots in this run. Make that 3 or 4. I keep like trying to bob in and out of cover when I shoot, and when I shoot it, and then it just doesn't work out. Pretty sure I still had both of my converts. Yeah. Just wanted to check and see though. Never hurts to have hostages. Went ahead and decided to pick up this artifact as well. Like I said, I wasn't too concerned about trying to pick up the extra loot or whatever, but forgot these little things were just cash pickups as opposed to actual bags. Checking to see if that med bag was in there. I was going to see if I could also hit this one so that I could just get a little bit of health back, because obviously I was missing just a little bit of my health, you know, just a fair amount. Of course, it did save me a down because of course, by the health damage or the amount of health that I have left right now, I would have been down a moment ago. So, of course, one could argue that I maybe should have went down first and then hit the med bag so that I would have had full health after the fact. But you know, sometimes it's better to try to avoid going down altogether. Just my converts were getting kind of low on health, and I wanted to try to get some more hostages, or hostages that were close. However, here, that medic and I kind of went for a very short walk together. If I wouldn't have got caught on him, I probably would have got tased. It was at this point I noticed that I killed everything in the room. Didn't have anything to messiah off of, and I was like, I'm an idiot, but I feigned death. And an enemy was running out of that door anyway. I think I probably could have killed the enemy before the dozer killed me. I don't know that, though. So, we'll just be glad I got lucky with the feigned death. And that's all there was to it. Alright, that was Diamondized 1 down solo. We'll take a quick look at my stats. Again, really enjoyed the Mosconi build. It really felt fun. I'll probably use it again another time. Maybe use the Jocelyn instead. Even though the Mosconi has slightly higher pickup rate. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching.